Welcome to the light at the end of the funnel. This podcast is all about tangible solutions to common online marketing challenges. And it's also about the lighter side of entrepreneurship, the motivation, the innovation, the inspiration, and the growth mindset needed to build a business that stands the test of time and stands the test of the unexpected. I'm your host, Danielle Fitzpatrick Clark, and I want to thank you for spending your time with me today. So let's dig in. Hey everyone, Danielle Fitzpatrick Clark here, the founder and host of Light at the End of the Funnel podcast, and also the CEO of Influence Builder. And I'm so glad that you guys are listening in or watching in, because today we're going to talk about ways of selling online that don't feel sleazy. In fact, I'm going to give you my top 10 ways that I sell online without being like a greasy car salesman. So, I like to make a little fun of myself whenever I'm talking to my clients or even prospects. And I tell them, like, I'm not a great salesperson. No, I'm not. But I am one heck of a marketer. So the reason I say that is because of how I focus my time. Now, some people will focus their time on the sales and getting that sale and going for it and doing whatever it takes to get the yes. And I don't focus on that piece. In fact, I focus more on the beginning piece, the magnetizing piece, the relationship piece. So one of the big things I do like to focus on is the customer journey. Like, what kind of an experience am I creating for my ideal clients and any of those prospects that come into my circles of influence? So I'll focus first and foremost on that. The other thing that I like to focus on is, what is it, and understanding this, like, what is the real problems that my prospects are facing? And it's not just like the overall bigger picture. It could even be the real problems that they're facing in their day-to-days that I of course, here's the second thing, that I of course have a solution to. So when I know what their problems are, and I know the big picture problems, and then I know the very minute, smaller ones, the day-to-day ones that still keep them up, then I can focus on the other piece, which is, what kind of real solutions can I give them that will help them move forward? So they kind of go hand in hand, but I do like to focus on those. The other thing is, and this is the next step to that, is I focus on improving the solution that I have for them and tweaking it so that they can get to where they want to go faster. So that's a big part of what I focus on. And then here's the kicker. I have to focus on how I am communicating these real problems and these real solutions and how they get the results faster. So I focus on communicating the value and the shortcuts. And I do that very effectively online. So that's where I spend my time, which is different than spending time on, how do I get the sale? How do I get this person to say yes? I really don't want a yes. I don't want a maybe. I don't want a no. I want them to come to and feel empowered to come to that conclusion that this is what I need. I am saying yes, but I'm saying yes not because this person really knows how to sell. I'm saying yes to myself. It's a little bit different. So that's where I like to play when it comes to selling online. So some people may hear this podcast or listen to this podcast or see this podcast episode and think, wow, that's a great sales pitch that she just gave. And some may hear this and think, she really needs to learn how to sell online. She doesn't know a thing. And then some people may think this. They may think, wow, she's just not aggressive. She's not aggressive enough. She just doesn't really want the sale bad enough. And you know what? Any way that you look at it, they are both right and they are both wrong. Yes, they're both. It's an and, not an or. So why is that? Why is that way of thinking right and wrong? Because yeah, some people will hear how I approach marketing to get sales and think that it's brilliant, because that's how they would love to be sold to. So the ones that think it's brilliant, that's guess what? Those are my ideal clients because that's exactly how they want to be sold to. Others will hear it and they will think it's just too passive. It's too passive of an approach, and it needs to be a little more straightforward and more straightforward talking and action because that's how they like to be sold to. And then others will hear it and wonder why I don't hunt them down and aggressively ask them to buy my products and talk them up and talk to them all the time because maybe that's what they like when someone is selling to them. Maybe they like to be chased. I don't chase. And that's okay because there are other people out there that do. There are other people out there that are more aggressive. There are people out there who are just much more straightforward with what they offer. And then there are those that are like me and they build the relationship and they want the empowered decision making from their buyer. So there's all these different ways of selling online, of marketing online, and of buying online. The point I'm trying to make is that when you are selling online, it's best for you to sell in a way that feels good to you because you know who your ideal client is and you know what they want and you know what they need and you know what they need to hear from you. So that's the most important thing. And I found in the online space, most people they do love to buy, but they want to be the one making that decision on what they buy. Like that's pretty much the underlying theme is that they do want to make the decision. So it may seem a little straightforward, but it's often missed. It's often missed in the sales process when people are coming from a place of I gotta just make this sale. Gotta just do this. And the other thing is that people mistake the sales process for being fast. It's gotta be really fast, it's gotta happen like this. It's got so many touch points, and I do talk about touch points and I do talk about metrics. It's not fast. In fact, it's much more of a marathon than it is a sprint. Even if we are just coming in for that sales process, there's more that happened up to that point that we're just not including. So, with all that being said, here's my top 10 list of ways to sell online without feeling sleazy. So, for those of you who listen to all these different ways of selling and preferences, this is for those who really who want to sell or who want to be good at selling, but want to be good at selling in a way that feels good to them without being sleazy. So, first and foremost, set your intentions before you go online to simply be of service with your expertise. Like that's one of the things that is the easiest thing for me to do when I'm going online is to set the intention. And I don't just set it with saying it out loud. So I may be saying it out loud now and saying, okay, I'm just going to go and be of service. I really feel it. I feel it. I'm like, who can I help today? And then I really just want to go and see who has a question that I have a really great answer to that will move the needle for them. And it feels really good to do and it feels really good to find. So I know I've set that intention when I go out there and I see someone and it's just natural for me to answer them and it really doesn't take that long. So that's one way is to set that intention of just going and being of service. And more times than not, even if it's not that person, but let's just say it's a Facebook post where somebody asks a question in a group. Let's say I answer it. Let's say I say, hey, I would do this. And if you want, and I'll drop a freebie lead magnet to support them further. So they may not buy anything from me, but people who are watching who also need that solution, they may go in, grab that lead magnet, and then reach out to me and say, hey, can we jump on a sales call? I would really like to talk to you to see how you can help me. I have gotten so many sales with just this first tip that I'm giving you guys. It's been one of my best go-tos to selling online in a non-sleazy way where I'm giving really good information, I'm helping people, and then either that person or other people are coming back to me and wanting to do a sales call. So that's why it's my number one. That's why it's my first one. So the second one is engage your ideal audience by asking open-ended questions and then answer them with anything that comes up. So I like to get to know my target audience by asking them open-ended questions. People do love to share about themselves. They love to talk about themselves and what's going on, especially in the online space. If you're an entrepreneur in the online space and you already know this, or you've already felt this, is that sometimes it gets really lonely. It gets really lonely, especially if you are stuck. And guess what, guys? We all get stuck from time to time. Doesn't matter what level that you are at in entrepreneurship, we all get stuck. So when that happens, it can feel lonely. And when it feels lonely, we look for connection. We like to connect, we like to talk. So be that space and invite people in to talk and to share. And then if it's an open-ended question and people need an answer or have another question, then make sure to answer them. So the third thing is take a few minutes every day on your favorite social media platforms just to go in and answer questions. So I really like doing this on LinkedIn, actually. I'll find that people will post articles or they'll post live streams, and people will have questions within those. And sometimes it's not in groups too. Not very often in LinkedIn, but in groups they have questions too. And I'll just go in and I'll just say, oh, well, I can answer that pretty fast. And I'll answer them. So I will take a few minutes every day just to go into my favorite platforms and answer questions. Like I have a whole list of groups that I go into for Facebook. It's places where I go in for Instagram and LinkedIn, and just go in and see if there's any questions. And another one that I really like, actually, where a lot of questions are asked by entrepreneurs, is Alignable. So if you guys haven't checked out Alignable, that would be a really good place to go to. They have groups there where people are asking questions like this. I find that I could spend a lot more than just 5 minutes in Alignable. I could probably spend more like 30 or 40 minutes answering questions. There are so many on there. So go and check that one out. So number 4, create more videos that give a solution and a quick action or hack to help those who are struggling. For example, I do live stream videos on LinkedIn every 2, maybe 3 weeks that act as demos. So I'll give demonstrations to how to do things, how to implement things in the online space. That's what I'll do. It is a solution with some quick actions that people can go and do, and it's stuff that they usually don't know. Most likely, if they signed up to register for a live stream event, they don't know how to do the things that I'm going to be teaching them. So number 5, over deliver to your current clients and then ask them if they know anyone who could use your help. It is a referral ask, but it is one of the easier things to do, is to over deliver. So especially if you have a ton of content. So I have a ton of content, so it's really easy for me to over deliver because I'm like, well, you know what? I have some more trainings that this would help you. There they are. And they get so much value from those trainings. But here's the thing. With over delivering, many times what's going to happen is that your ideal clients are actually going to refer you without you even having to ask them for the referral. So you may not even have to do anything besides just be your brilliant self and give them things that you know that they need that will support them, that you already have in a library or in a content matrix somewhere, and that will over deliver. That could make their day, and that could be the thing that they know 2 or 3 other people need, and so there comes the referral without you even having to ask. So that's number 5. Number 6, create an opportunity calendar and break down what it's like to work with you, and give that to your ideal clients or your prospects that have already come in and are in your sales pipeline, so you can show them where their best opportunities lie, right? So opportunity calculator. There's a lot of different examples for this. So one of the ones that we've worked on recently is actually showing people how they can fast track their lead generation on LinkedIn and what that can mean for their sales process when they use our DM formula. So it's a really great process that we have, not just for the lead generation, but for the actual moving people into a sales pipeline. And so we have numbers and we show them what their opportunities are and what that can equal based on programs, services, and packages that they're selling. So if you guys want that information to go and grab that, just look for the link. If you're watching this, look for the link underneath the title. And if you're listening in, this will be on the show notes page for you to go ahead and log into and download. That's lifethefunnel.com. So number seven, build relationships, even with those who aren't ideal clients. Yep, I said it. Like, who has time for that? Guys, I'm busy. You wouldn't believe how busy I am. I always have time to build relationships, and it's not always because I want to sell to somebody. So just because you're looking to hit a sales quota doesn't mean that you are only allowed or only allow yourself to talk to those who seem like the right fit for that program. Expand out and talk to others and see how you can help. Even if they're not ideal, they may know someone that is. So the number eight is create thought-provoking content. Thought-provoking content that is different than what is out there and tied into what your ideal client is needing and wanting to hear more about. So this is a big one, guys. We can do so much in terms of sales with our content, and it doesn't even have to be sales or promo content. It could just be thought-provoking content. So always have a call to action though on all your content. And for the purposes of not being sleazy, let's go ahead and always have a call to action at the end that offers to support more and to answer any questions. So what does that look like for a call to action? You know what, if I'm doing an article or if I'm doing a post on one of my social medias platforms, and I am just doing something thought provoking where they're like, oh gosh, now I have even more questions, Danielle. Great. You know what, guys, if you have more questions, go ahead and DM me and ask away. Either me or my team will respond to you as soon as we can. That's the call to action. So we ask people to go ahead and communicate with us further. But we wouldn't be able to do that if we weren't at least shifting perspective and getting them to think about a bigger picture solution or opportunity for them that they hadn't before. So that's number 8. Number 9. Whoop, there we go. Number 9. Follow up with those who have reached out for help. Now, I will admit this isn't my best thing, which is why I have team members that are really good at the follow-up. But this is where most sales are actually missed, hence me having a team to help me with the follow-ups. So make sure to get out your calendar and write in everyone who needs a follow-up from you. Everyone. If you haven't followed up with them to check in, then you really want to make some time every day to do that. If you can't, or if you're not good at it, or if you need some support, you can hire people to do the follow-up for you. So better to do that than to not do it at all. All right, so number 10 guys, check in on your past clients. See how you can help them and see what is new and exciting for them. Ask them what's new and exciting for them first and foremost, without going into a sales pitch. Just because you've got a new program and you're like, hey, I want to talk to you about this new program, just, put a pause on it, put a pin in it, because we want them to ask us about it. But first and foremost, we want to be there for them. We want to be intentional with offering to help. We want to see how things are going, what's exciting, get them talking, make it about them, because it is about them. And then if it's right, if they ask what you're up to, then you can present a new program or service and leave it at that and see what happens. So that's number 10. It's one of my favorites. It's one of the simple ones to do for me too. It's just to check on people. Like, hey, how's it going for you? Tell me everything that's up. Tell me what's new and exciting. How are your programs doing? Did you change them? Did you tweak them? Those types of things. So that's my top 10, guys. That's my top 10. And believe it or not, these 10 things have gotten me sales faster than any of the other sales opportunities and solutions and hacks that I've learned in the online space. These 10 have gotten me more. And it's expedited the process of the sales. So I love it when I can simplify it and I can make it about the relationships, and I don't have to worry about just the checklist when it comes to sales. And my pipeline continuously is flowing. I always have people coming in for sales every week. And I have people coming back for secondary sales calls. And it's very much a relaxed process for me. And it doesn't feel like it's a push. And it always ends up benefiting everybody involved. And one of my favorite things is when I do have these calls, these sales calls, I give really good information. I help people get to their next steps, and they come and comment and say, this is exactly what I needed to hear. And I didn't feel pressured. And I just love talking with you and working with you. And I can't imagine doing this with anyone else. And that is when they say, I don't care how much it costs. Tell me how I can work with you. Ooh, feels so good when they say that to me. So that is one of the outcomes for doing sales in a way that feels good for you. Now, is that for everybody? Is this process for everyone? No, it's not. Some people thrive on maybe a more aggressive sales approach. They like the task list. If that's you and that works for you, that's how you want to do your sales. If it doesn't work for you and you are more about building relationships like me, then try out some of these top 10s and see how it works for you. So I hope that supports. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for listening in. I so appreciate you and everything that you are doing in the world. So until next time, make it a great one. Bye for now. Hey, thanks for listening to Light at the End of the Funnel. And help a marketer out. We always can use some love. Share, like, and subscribe. That is the best thing that you can do for any podcast. So if you like what we're giving you guys at Light at the End of the Funnel, please go ahead and share that out, and don't forget to subscribe. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.